Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know that the cannabis industry has been going through what I call not exactly the raging bull market. That huge first excitement is over. Things are taking a turn for the worst. But when you take a look at the cycle from a long-term perspective, you'll realize that most of the companies that live to tell the story are the ones that are doing exactly what I am going to show you right now. Hey, this is Fabi with Equity.Guru, and today I'm going to talk about a company that's completely outside of the norm for me. I'm very much a resource investor. I took a look at this cannabis company, and believe it or not, I immediately got it. And so I'm going to show you a few things that I see here that might actually make this company look like a real contender for the long run, for one of those companies that actually lasts through this turmoil and makes it very big. So let's take a look. Okay, so before we jump into this company, I want to tell you a little bit more about why I think that you should take a long-term approach to investing. So the dot-com bubble, it burst in 2000 to 2001, and it bottomed in 2002. You know the story. Everything that had a .com to it, just a website, would double, triple, and quadruple overnight. Now, during that time, because it was such a hot theme, you had a bunch of weirdos and losers and scammers jumping into the bandwagon and trying to make their quote-unquote company ride this train. Well, you know how hard that bust, but some companies actually fared very, very well. One little company was Amazon. Now, obviously, I'm not comparing the company that we're going to look today with Amazon, but the concept is very important for us to realize that when bad news hits, absolutely everybody gets crushed. So Amazon, as early as 97, went public, and they were, a little dollar stock. So you have here, $1.50, $2, $3, and it starts to grow. It reaches as high as 113 here on December of 99, and it goes downhill from there, hitting a low of about $6 here in October of 2001. Now, what do I mean by all this? You can't escape it. Nobody knew that a company as good as Amazon was actually going to get clobbered like it did. And if we take a closer look at what they were doing sales-wise, you can see a clear pattern here. They were just growing like crazy. So 99 came around, they were growing. 2000 came around, they were growing. 2001 came around, and they were still growing. So this is their revenues, and you can see how they were still growing. Fundamentally, the company was getting better and better. They were making acquisitions at the time when there was blood in the streets. Today, well, you know what Amazon's stock is doing exactly right now. It's over $2,000. Needless to say, this little blip here didn't really make much of a difference at the end because the fundamental business was getting better and better. Okay, so we're talking about Supreme Cannabis. And from the get-go, you can see that they have different businesses in different areas in the cannabis world. They also have minority investments. Some interesting partnerships that we're going to get into very soon, but very good first impression because I don't think that the people who are going to survive this slump in cannabis is going to be people who basically just have glorified grow ops. At the end of the day, when cannabis or any other item is legalized, you have a lot of competition. Many players get into the business. The players that were sort of out of the legal system now are legalizing, and you have so much competition that the price that you get for your product is less and less and less. So what you're going to see going forward is probably brands that come into the edible space, brands that come into the oil space, the CBD oil space, and little by little you're going to see brands get stronger and stronger and stronger. I don't think we should think of this as anything different to alcohol or cigarettes. At the end of the day, it's the big brands that really make a lot of money. If you just basically grow tobacco or sugarcane, saying that you're going to turn that into alcohol, that's not really where the money is. So Supreme Cannabis has 3 different approaches. Number one that really impressed me, because it's something I'm very familiar with, is to establish foundational IP and strong core business. So let's get into that first. So obviously they're in the Canadian market. It has been growing and it's expected to grow even more. It's got all the government controls and approvals and everything, so it's a good global launch pad for companies starting out. But most of the companies that we're familiar with are in Canada, so that's just a starting point. So by researching their target market, they found out that cannabis enthusiasts range from 20 to 30-year-olds. Mostly they spend $120 per week on product, and that allows them to build the right brands. They do have the big indoor facility. They have all that part so that they can control what the plant is, from the seeds, from the actual strains to delivery. So that's the 7 acres business. That's the actual plant grow business. Now, 7 acres is positioning itself to be a premium product, which is very important. We're going to see that in a while. With a price of 6,000 to 7,000 Canadian dollars per kilogram. They have production capacity, and also they have strains of the plant that have actually sold out and are asked for by name. This is huge, and this is very telling. It basically tells you, the investor, of like, look, we have made a product that is unique. We are developing IP, which is intellectual property. So we're going to own how to make this product. We're going to own maybe the biology registration side of it. And if people are asking for this brand more and more, this means future sales are pretty much guaranteed. So whenever cannabis became legal in Canada, you could see that most of what was sold was lower quality flower at less than $10 Canadian per gram. And here we can see some of 7 Acres brands and strains. You have White Widow at, well, if you take the 3-point gram and compare it to the gram, at just over $10 per gram. And so their starting point is $10 and it grows from there. So 3.5 gram retail price, lowest you can get is $35.30, going up to $40, $45. Now this $52.99 is from what they imagine they can charge for Jack Haze, but that's only going to come out in August of 2019. So that's a prediction. Cambium Plant Sciences is the part of the business that works with IP, and this is absolutely huge. If these guys are creating a product that people are going crazy over and selling out and paying more than what they would other brands, and they own the exclusive rights to produce that product, this is how you build a billion-dollar company. I'm not saying they're going to get there, disclaimer, but this is how you do it. Their strategy number 2 is to create differentiated consumer-driven products across market segments. And I really like that they are going into the CBD oil concentrates with their recent purchase of Blisco that has just been approved. They also have a partnership with PAX for their vaping products. They intend on creating pre-rolls with 7 Acres. And their current largest piece of the pie is the actual growth of the plant. So Blisco was just acquired by Supreme with an all-stock transaction. This speaks volumes to management, because at the end of the day, if you can get less and less cash out of your bank account as a manager of the business, as a CEO of the business, it's great for shareholders. This has just gone through, and so what you will see is that some of the stock price going down, I believe, is from, people just selling out of their positions from this company since it was all stock. I have to check. I don't know if there's a hold period or not, but that's one theory. And that's entering a market that they didn't previously have a strong foothold in. KKE, that's the brand of Wiz Khalifa, a guy that is a brand in and of himself, and needing a strong supplier with a good quality product to partner with. Supreme was the chosen brand by him. I think this is a huge plus. Not everybody can say that they have a celebrity partnership like this that isn't just, flogging product and saying buy this stock, buy this product. It's actually his name on the bottle, his brand, and it's sourced with Supreme. Something similar with PAX, which is a premium vaporizer in Canada. They've sold as many as 1.5 million devices worldwide and growing. And the third strategy is to expand customer-centric approach to international markets. And this is something very important. At the end of the day, once you have figured out the genetics and the biology side of it, you need to source it at the cheapest price possible. And then you need a strong brand to push the product. The brand side, they're already building. I think that's one of the strongest things that they have, in the last 12 months or so invested in. They also have the cheap production cost in their Lesotho plant. So they have a global distribution agreement with this company and a 10% equity interest. Now, I've never been to Lesotho, but I can probably guarantee you, knowing its location and its economy, that you can get product sourced from Lesotho cheaper than almost any other jurisdiction. They're also working on getting their GMP certification so that they can sell into the European market. And also they're getting a foothold in Malta by being one of the first companies that starts the conversation process of representing their products in Europe. Supreme Heights is a very interesting side of their business. It's basically an investment platform in Europe that is boots on the ground, looking at different CBD and health opportunities in the European market. I think that side of the market has a ton of room to grow. People are not as scared of CBD oil as they might have been in the past, or just not known about it. And I see it on my personal Facebook feed all the time, people talking about the health benefits of this product. In the last quarter, they brought in 10 million in sales. That has been growing quarter after quarter after quarter, non-stop. So keep an eye on their revenue. I expect this number to continue to grow in the years to come with the acquisitions that they have completed recently. I'm very positive on this number right here. Cash, they're still sitting at a healthy $75 million of cash. And that allows them to maybe launch new products, invest in R&D, or even buy out new companies. Now, let me tell you about their share price. Look at this. Maybe 2 or 3 years of excellent execution gets you punished very, very hard when the sector is hot. So today you can get into the Supreme Cannabis company at just about half the price of the April high. Since then, the company has actually gotten better. They have improved sales. They have improved on almost any measurement. Their market cap is standing at a 390 million Canadian dollars. Their December low is about 115, so I wouldn't be super surprised to see us test the December lows. But if you take a look at what these guys are achieving, I think you can agree with me that there's a lot of good stuff still to come to this company. Now, obviously, there's a lot of noise right now in the industry. You know the story with certain other companies that are not doing so hot right now for their own reasons. These guys have no scandals whatsoever. They're growing the business. They're vertically integrated. They control the genes, they control the planting, they control the brands and the distribution. I think that this might be a huge buying opportunity if you believe in the brand and what these guys are building here. So that's Supreme, ticker symbol FIRE, F-I-R-E on the TSX.